And now let's have a look at how to factorize quadratic expressions with 4 terms.
Now there's a few steps that we need to take when factorising quadratic expressions with 4 terms. Step 1 being group the terms so that those with common factors are next to each other. Step 2 being take out a common factor from each group, and at times it may be 1, so look out for this. And step 3, factorise by taking out a common binomial factor. Right, so the following worked examples say factorise the following quadratic expressions in questions A, B and C. Right, well let's have a look at question A to begin with, and let's follow these steps in the 4 terms section that you can see right here. Alright, so step 1 says group the terms that those with common factors are next to each other. Right, as you look here you can see x minus 4y, there's actually no common factors there. You've got plus mx minus 4my, so what we can actually do is we can group the x and the mx here, or the positive mx. So what we're going to do is we're just going to move that across, and we're going to get x and move the plus mx across, so you get plus mx. Then we're going to go subtract 4y minus 4my. If you have a look now, what you can see is you've got the x here and the mx together, and then you've got the negative 4y and the negative 4my. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to put brackets around the first 2 terms, and then we're going to put brackets around the second 2 terms, and we're actually going to put a little invisible plus in here just so that we know that that's actually not being multiplied. Alright, we're now going to factorise each one of these brackets. So if we have a look here, the common factor between x and mx is actually x, so we'll take that out front, and we're going to get x times what will get us x, well that's 1, x times what will give us mx, well that's plus m, because x times m is mx. And let's have a look at the common factor here. We can see that negative 4 and y will go into both, so we're going to take out negative 4y here, and you're going to get negative 4y times what will get you negative 4y, well that's just 1. Negative 4y times what will get you negative 4my, well that's just going to be positive m, because when you multiply the negative 4y by the positive m, you get negative 4my. Have a look at this now. Magically, we've actually got the same numbers in the brackets here. What we call that is a common binomial factor. So we've just done step 2 by taking things out, and step 3 says factorise by taking out a common binomial factor. Now, because what we've got here is the x times 1 plus m and the negative 4y times 1 plus m, what we can actually write is we can write these sections here in one bracket. So you get x minus 4y, and then multiply by 1 plus m. Because if you think about it, when we're expanding brackets, what we're doing is we're doing x times 1 and x times m. Well, that's saying x times 1 and x times m. And when we expand this part of the bracket, you get negative 4y times 1 and negative 4y times n. It's the same as saying negative 4y times 1 and negative 4y times m. So what we're doing is we're condensing this equation here to just 2 brackets by taking out the common binomial factor, which you can see that's highlighted there. Alright, so if I just remove these actual little lines that you've just done here, and what we can see here is that when I factorise this expression up here, you actually get an answer of x minus 4y in one bracket and 1 plus m in the next bracket. Alright, let's try and do the same thing again for part B. So collecting like terms now, you've got x minus 2y plus ax minus 2ay. Well, when I look at this, I can see that the x and the ax will go together. So let's actually circle that quickly. So we're going to go x and the positive ax are going to go together. And of course, negative 2y and the negative 2ay will actually go together. So that's negative 2y and negative 2ay. So let's join these bad boys together, shall we? So we go x plus ax, and then negative 2y minus 2ay. All I've done is rearrange things. We're now going to put brackets around the first 2 terms, and brackets around the last 2 terms. And of course we put in the invisible little plus there, because if you didn't have the plus, what you'd actually have is these 2 brackets being multiplied together, which isn't actually the case. Alright, let's have a look now and factorise the first bracket. So the common factor between x and ax, of course, is x. And when you take x out as a common factor, you're going to get x times 1 will get you x, so that's going to be 1 in here, plus x times a will get you ax, so you've got 1 plus a in the brackets here. Now the common factor between negative 2y and negative 2ay, well you can see that negative 2y will go into both of these ones here. So actually what you're going to do is you're going to take out negative 2y as a common factor. Negative 2y times 1 will get you negative 2y, and of course negative 2y times positive a will get you negative 2ay. And winner winner chicken dinner, you can see that you've got 1 plus a is the common binomial factor here. So of course when you've got the common binomial factor, what you do is you get the two terms outside of the brackets and you put them together inside brackets. You get x minus 2y as the first factor and 1 plus a as a second factor. So we know that when we factorize this expression here with 4 terms, you're going to get the answer x minus 2y bracket 1 plus a. Okay, so let's have a look at the last question now, part C. And that is you've got EF minus 2E plus 3F minus 6. Now in terms of grouping these together, you can go a couple of different ways, because we've got common factors of E, you've got common factors of 2, you've got common factors of F. So let's just leave things together, because you can see EF and negative 2E we can actually join, and of course 3F minus 6 is common factors of 3 there. Alright, so what we're going to do is just write that again but with brackets. So you're going to go EF minus 2E with a plus in between 3F minus 6. Now the EF and the negative 2E, obviously the common factor here is going to be E, so we'll take that out the front. So you get E bracket F minus 2, because when you multiply E by F you get EF, and E by negative 2 you get negative 2E. And then we go plus, the common factor here is going to be 3, because 3 goes into both 3F and minus 6. So you're going to take out the positive 3, and you're going to get 3 times F will get you 3F minus 2, because 3 times 2 gets you negative 6. Bang, 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 here we go. We've got f minus 2 as a common binomial factor. If you can see that you've got the common binomial factor, it means you've done it right. So, doing this now, you're going to take e plus 3, write that in brackets, and you're going to take f minus 2 as the second one, and there you have it. You've got your factorized version of ef minus 2e plus 3f minus 6 is equal to e plus 3 in brackets multiplied by f minus 2 in brackets. And there you go, that's how you factorize quadratic expressions with 4 terms. Alright, it's that time of the lesson again where you need to press pause and attempt the following worked examples. Alright, make sure once you're done, of course, press play and check your answers against mine. Okay, so as you can see, the question says factorize the following quadratic expressions for parts A and B. So as you can see in question A, what we've got is 4x plus 4y. You can see the common factor of 4, so what I've done is I've essentially just joined these two together here and written it down here in brackets. Right, of course the common factor here is k, so once again I've just joined these together here in brackets and written them down here. Now taking out the common factor of 4, as you can see here, and I've brought it out here, leaving us with 4 bracket x plus y, because 4 times x is 4x and 4 times y is 4y. Taking out the common factor of k now, because you can see that k is in both of these, so bring it out here because k times x is xk and k times y is yk. So what you can see here is a common binomial factor of x plus y in each one of the brackets. So what I've done here is I've brought the 4 plus k and written it out in front here, and I've got the x plus y as the other bracket coming second there. So I know that 4x plus 4y plus xk plus yk is equal to 4 plus k in brackets times x plus y in brackets. And doing the same here, I've got ax minus ay plus bx minus by. I can see a common factor of a in both of these, so what I've done is just rewritten that part out here, grouping these first two terms together by putting brackets around it. Also I can see the common factor of b here, so I've rewritten these two terms out here, putting the brackets around it to group them because of the common factor of b. Now I'm taking the common factor of a out in each one of these, so a comes out the front of the brackets, and of course a times x is ax, and a times negative y is negative ay. So this section here is this bracket here factorized. Having a look at the common factor here now for bx and negative by, well b is a common factor, so I've brought it out the front. B times x is bx, and b times negative y is negative by. So what you can see here is this whole section factorized becomes this. Now what you can see is the common binomial factor of x minus y in both of these cases. So of course when I've got the common binomial factor, what I can do is write the a plus b in the first bracket and the x minus y that you can see highlighted here in the second bracket.
Alright guys, thank you very much for tuning into today's lesson, which was all about A, factorising expressions by taking out the highest common factor, B, factorising quadratic expressions with 2 terms, and C, factorising quadratic expressions with 4 terms. Now make sure you stay tuned for the very next lesson, which is all about factorising these expressions with 3 terms, because there's a few different methods for this. Also, I recommend that you check out the link that's written in the comment section below, because it has a nice little video to some cool music that might help you understand some of this stuff. Now, like always, say hi to your maths teacher for me. Morse out.
Everybody factor. Check my work when I factor.